Okay, in this video we're going to continue talking about the floor bases. In the previous video we showed you the bases that are in the template and on Unify. Now I want to show you how to create your own if you have a new type. So we're going to copy a floor over here, and all bases are profile based. So what does that mean? It means that you have a profile family that is used to create that. And we have other videos on how to create a profile family. I'll point you to those at the end. You'll see it's very simple. It's reference planes with dimensional parameters, so you can, make 6-inch whatever height you want. The key to understand is when you create the profile, understanding what you're hosting it to. So if this were going to be hosted to a wall and not a floor, these two reference planes indicate the host face. So picture that a wall, and the host is on this side, host, 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 or the floor is on this side. So since we're creating a floor hosted base -FH, the profile needs to be drawn on the floor or host side. If we were attaching this to a wall, we would draw it on this side. Okay, so I've loaded that into my project now, and I need to now use it. So you'll see down here, here's that profile. Here's the size. If we wanted to create a new size, we could duplicate that size and change the name to 6 inches and change the height to 6 inches. Then we can pick on a previously created base, edit the type, make sure you're duplicating it, and then we'll call this 4 1/4 resilient base dimensional. All right, and we're going to change let's work from top down. So first you need to set the profile. There's our 4 1/4 profile. And then we will, okay, so now we need to make a matching material. So we're going to go down to base, and we'll take this one, and we will right click and duplicate, and we'll call this RB4D. This does not need to be your final tag value. I just need something that makes sense, because we need something unique for each of them in the template. If you only have one RB rubber base and you want to call this RB1, that's fine, just rename this. We want to change the name, and then we want to change the description, because this is what's going to tag in the material tag. And the mark should match that RB4D. And then the graphics right now are going to be based on whatever was render asset was used. If this is supposed to be a different color, we'd replace this, duplicate it, whatever you need it to be looking like. So that's all set. So we've got our profile, our material. Now we need to make sure we update our description. Now, unfortunately, this isn't actually able to be tagged yet. It's just a limitation in Revit, but it does help just so somebody knows. And then you check your assembly code. In this case, this is where we want this coded. If you were making a carpet base, you would change this, to carpeting or tile, terrazzo, whatever the appropriate is. That's all you need, and boom, now you see that's changed from the previous base type to the other, and you now have this type available to continue on whatever you're doing. And then we will tag it MG. You'll see that it gets that tag. And just a reminder, this tag is just on my samples. You don't really ever use that. You probably either just tagging with the description or the mark only on your interior elevations. Hope this is helpful. I mentioned that we have training on the BPM for creating your own profile. So if you do go back under content, there's a family creation series, and if you jump into that, you will see training on creating a profile for a sweep. So that could be helpful to you. And if you hadn't watched the first video in this series,